So we have invited the divine into this session
Yes,
and may he take control of our minds completely. Okay.
Amen.
Over to Archana ma'am, Promini ma'am, whoever's taking the.
So, with your permission, ma'am, I begin.
Yes.
Respected Anjali ma'am, Pramini ma'am, Asha ma'am, dear children, our colleagues, I welcome you all here this morning. And we have gathered here this morning, this lovely morning. It has started drizzling over here, ma'am. So we have God's blessing with us, so to speak. And we are going to begin one very noble, we are going to embark on a journey, children, I would say. And this journey is very different from others. Why? I would like to share the idea with you, then we will move forward. Children are going to deliver speeches of great leaders and thinkers, but these words have power. After one reading, the speeches takes over the receptive consciousness. And we are that school which works on the consciousness. So children, be very alert, be a sponge in this session, and each and every word you have to soak in. We are going to see what was going on in the minds of those great leaders, great people when they wrote these speeches or when they delivered these speeches. We have not limited ourselves to our beloved country. We are talking about word over here. We will be talking about those times when there were no boundaries. There was a time, children, when we all were one. When the history of Homo sapiens began, we all were one. I would like to begin with Sri Aurobindo's words, the future belongs to the young. It is a young and new world which is now under process of development, and it is the young who must create it. So it is on you, children, who are going to create this. And for that, we must learn from our past. The words of those people, when we were discussing yesterday in the preliminary session, children said, you yourself said, that we were transported in those era, that time period when those leaders had written these words, when they delivered these speeches. And I think that gave us immense pleasure. This was the only motive, that you could be transported to that era. One of the participant ma'am said that I could feel Subhashan Bose's energy in me. What else ma'am wanted? So when Sri Vivekananda said, my fellow brothers and sisters of America, when Martin Luther King Jr. said, I have a dream, when these people said these words, you only had two choices, children. They only had two choices. We all are. Either we become bitter or we become better. I would like to quote Dr. Nelson Mandela. For years, whites had oppressed the blacks in South Africa. But when he came with the constitution for South Africa, he came up with the constitution which is named as Umbrella Constitution, which protects all, black and white alike. So here is the chance which your school is giving you, children, to know, to peep in the consciousness of these great people and imbibe what they had to say. Don't you think it's not just a coincidence that Sri Aurobindo's birthday is on 15th August, India's Independence Day? These people are the makers of modern world, this modern era in which you are living. We have chosen a few speeches today, children. You all know 6 speeches we have taken. Shri Bal Gangadhar Tilak ji, Mrs. Sarojini Naidu, Shri Aurobindo Uttarpara's 2 speeches, Dr. Kalam and Shri Subhash Chandra Bose ji. But we'll be doing these sessions every month so that we can get to know more and more about them. You can get to know those feelings. All these people, great leaders, great thinkers, they think ahead of the common people, children. So what was that which they understood before all of us? Today we are going to witness this. And this is the need of the hour. That we go by positivity. Mr. Bal Gangadhar Tilak very clearly said that if robbers, he gave this example, if robbers have entered your house, don't hesitate, come out, latch them, bolt them from outside and burn your own house, because you have to kill the negativity. Let positivity rule, let positivity prevail, and only positivity bring change. I would like to call upon Aditya Mishra of class 9 to introduce our beloved Anjali ma'am. Because we have, though Anjali ma'am needs no introduction, but we have children with us who are new to our institution, ma'am. They need to know about you. So Aditya Mishra, over to you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. What you leave behind is not what is engraved in stone monuments, but what is woven into the lives of others. And as we are gathered here today, we can undoubtedly say that the legacy of our chief guest, Ma'am Anjali Jaipuria, will only keep on growing and will live long after the sun dusks from the face of the earth. Our beloved Ma'am Jaipuria is the Vice Chairperson of Integral Education Society and Chairperson of Navsrijan Education Society. Ma'am is an educationist with a vision for fundamental change in the Indian education system, combining her love for Vedic wisdom and its relationship with the needs of economic, social, and political conditions of today, creating contemporary e-learning materials. Ma'am studies Sri Aurobindo's and the Mother's evolutionary work, integral yoga and educational reform, the Vedas, Upanishads, and the Bhagavad Gita. Ma'am has been teaching the Bhagavad Gita in the light of Sri Aurobindo to a group of aspirants since 2015. With the help of Sri Aurobindo Ashram, Ma'am has created Dev Bhasha, a conversational Sanskrit curriculum which was introduced in 2003 as the third language from pre-primary to grade 8. Dev Bhasha has been instrumental in instilling values in students in a never-done-before way. Ma'am has introduced out-of-the-box projects for grade 5 to grade 9, aimed at raising the consciousness of her students. These projects have been covered in the web pages of Fred Mednick, Teachers Without Borders, and Johns Hopkins University. To fulfill her dream of giving a level playing field for all children, in 2003, Ma'am started Navsrijan, an English medium school for the underserved, imparting the same education as St. M.R. Jaipuria School to 300 students at present, who are living on the margins of poverty. With a huge round of applause, we heartily welcome Ma'am Anjali Jaipuria to Igniting Young Souls.
Thank you, Aditya. And we have named this session as Igniting Young Souls because children, words have power, thoughts have power. On an average, 60,000 thoughts crosses your mind in a day. So be careful about what you think, children, because what you are going to deliver today are somebody's thoughts which change the course of the history of the world. And we are going to witness them again today. So obviously, it's a great moment which we are going to begin with today. It's a momentous occasion. So before we begin, children, let me remind you that we have a sequence. We'll be calling out your names and then you will be speaking. Do we have your permission, ma'am, to begin? So we would, and here we have right from class 6 to class 11 and our beloved Navsrijan children also who will be delivering the speeches today. We begin with Anushka Singh of class 6. Anushka? Yes, Anushka, please begin.
Yes, ma'am. There is some problem. I'm just beginning.
Don't worry, don't worry.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Anushka Singh from class 6F and I'm going to deliver the speech of Shri Bal Gangadhar Tilak named Freedom is My Birthright. I have chosen this speech because we must know about illiteracy and home rule and also about our freedom fighters.
Unmute yourself, beta. Unmute. Anushka, unmute yourself.
Yes, ma'am. Now it's coming. Who does not understand the meaning of home rule? Who does not desire it? If I enter your house as a guest, reside there forever, and if I don't pay heed when you oppose, would you like it? According to some people, we don't have the right to home rule. The British are ruling over us for the past century, and they say we are not fit for home rule. If the century of British rule has not been able to make us competent enough for home rule, then we will make ourselves fit for that. They find it shameful that we are making efforts to save our country. On the other hand, England itself is trying to protect the smallest state of Belgium with India's help. Is not that shameful for them? Those who find a selfish motive behind behind the demands or home rule can even find fault in all merciful God. We all must save the soul of our nation from this custody of foreign rule. We have to toil for it, but it is our birthright to protect our nation. The Congress has passed this home rule solution. Some selfish interest opposes India's demand for home rule in practical politics on the pretext of several issues riding our country. One such issue is illiteracy, but together we all can eradicate it. Remember, such issues can only be solved with cooperation. It would be sufficient for us that even the illiterate in our country have a dire desire for Swaraj. Let it be the strength of all. Those who can easily complete their work can be illiterate but are not foolish. They can be as intelligent as any literate person. Literacy cannot be the parameter for intelligence. Thank you.
Thank you, Anushka. Very well delivered. Now we have Shlok Verma from class 6. So we have Namra Shakir from Navsrijan. Namra, please come up.
A very good morning to one and all present here. I am Namra Shakir of class 10. I feel honored to present before you the most popular speech by Shri Bal Gangadhar Tilak. He presented this speech on the first anniversary of the formation of the Home Rule League in 1917 at Nasik. Freedom is my birthright. I will not be old as long as it is alive within me. This feeling of freedom, no weapon can cut this, no fire can burn it, no water can drown it, and no wind can blow it. We are asking for home rule and we will get it. The political progress is the pillar of a nation. I want to invoke your soul that yearns for freedom. It will only happen through the political progress. These people are capable of giving political and religious teachings, but they do not educate common people about it. Religious and political teachings are not separate, though they appear to be so on account of foreign rule. All philosophies are included in the science of politics. Who doesn't understand the meaning of home rule? Who doesn't desire it? If I enter your house as a guest, reside there forever, and if I don't pay heed when you oppose, would you like it? According to some people, we don't have the right to home rule. The British are ruling over us for the past century, and they say we are not fit for home rule. We all must save the soul of our nation from this custody of foreign rule. We have, but it is our birthright to protect our nation. The Congress has released this home rule resolution. Thank you.
Very good, Namra. Next we have Gayatri Bansal from Navsrijan.
सुप्रभात। सभा में उपस्थित सभी वरिष्ठ एवं मान्य गणों का मैं स्वागत और अभिनंदन करती हूँ। मैं गायत्री बंसल कक्षा 10 की छात्रा हूँ। मैं सुभाष चंद्र बोस द्वारा 4 जुलाई 1944 में बर्मा में दिए गए भाषण रूपी आह्वान को आप सबके समक्ष प्रस्तुत करते हुए गौरवान्वित हो रही हूँ। मित्रों, 1 साल पहले जब मैंने आपसे कुछ मांगे की थी, तब मैंने कहा था कि अगर आप मुझे पूर्ण संग्रहण देंगे तो मैं आपको दूसरा मोर्चा दूंगा। मैंने उस वचन को निभाया है। हमारे अभियान का पहला चरण खत्म हो गया। हमारे विजय सैनिक जापानी सैनिकों के साथ कंधे से कंधा मिलाकर लड़ रहे हैं और उन्होंने दुश्मन को पीछे धकेल दिया है। आगे जो काम है उसके लिए अपनी कमर कस लीजिए। मैंने मैन मनी मटेरियल के लिए कहा था, मुझे वो पर्याप्त मात्रा में मिल गए हैं। अब मुझे आप चाहिए। मैन मनी मटेरियल अपने आप में जीत या स्वतंत्रता नहीं दिला सकते। हमारे अंदर प्रेरणा की शक्ति होनी चाहिए जो हमें वीरतापूर्ण और साहसिक कार्य करने के लिए प्रेरित करे। बस ऐसी इच्छा रखना कि अब भारत स्वतंत्र हो जाएगा, क्योंकि विजय अब हमारी पहुंच में है। एक घातक गलती होगी, किसी के अंदर स्वतंत्रता का आनंद लेने के लिए जीने की इच्छा नहीं होनी चाहिए। हमारे सामने अभी भी एक लंबी लड़ाई है। आज हमारे अंदर बस एक ही इच्छा होनी चाहिए, मरने की इच्छा, ताकि भारत जी सके। एक शहीद की मृत्यु की इच्छा, ताकि स्वतंत्रता का पथ शहीदों के रक्त से प्रशस्त हो सके। मित्रों, स्वतंत्रता संग्राम में भाग ले रहे मेरे साथियों, आज मैं किसी भी चीज से ज्यादा आपसे एक चीज की मांग करता हूँ। मैं आपसे आपके खून की मांग करता हूँ। केवल खून ही दुश्मन द्वारा बहाए गए खून का बदला ले सकता है। सिर्फ और सिर्फ खून ही आजादी की कीमत चुका सकता है। तुम मुझे खून दो, मैं तुम्हें आजादी दूंगा। जय हिंद, जय भारत, जय वीर जवान। धन्यवाद।
Very good, Gayatri. Very good.
Too good. Too good. Very good.
Next, we have Nandini Bansal. Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Shlok start. Shlok start.
Good morning. I am Shlok Verma of 6D. Today I am going to deliver Sri Bal Gangadhar Tilakji's speech, Freedom is a Birthright. I chose this speech because of our Indian freedom fighters who freed us from the custody of British rule. Who doesn't understand the meaning of home rule? Who doesn't desire it? If I enter your house as a guest, reside there forever, and if I don't pay heed when you oppose, would you like it? According to some people, we don't have the right to home rule. The British are ruling over us for the past century, and they say we are not fit for home rule. If the century of British rule hasn't been able to make us competent enough for home rule, then we will make ourselves fit for it. They find it shameful that we are making efforts to save our country. On the other hand, England itself is trying to protect the small state of Belgium from India's help. Isn't that shameful for them? Those who find a selfish motive behind our demands of home rule can even find fault in all merciful God. We must save the soul of our nation from the custody of foreign rule. We have to toil for it, but it is our birthright to protect our nation. The Congress has passed this home rule resolution. Some selfish interests oppose India's demand of home rule in the practical politics on the pretext of several issues riding our country. One such issue is illiteracy, but together we can eradicate it. Remember, such issues can be solved with cooperation. It would be sufficient for us that even the illiterate have a dire desire, Swaraj. Let it be the strength of all. Those who can easily complete their work can be literate, but not foolish. They can be as literate as any intelligent person. Literacy cannot be the parameter for intelligence. Thank you.
Very good. Very good.
So now we have Nandini Bansal from Navsrijan.
Good morning, everyone. I am Nandini Bansal of Class 8. Today, I am going to present an excerpt taken from Sri Aurobindo's Uttarpara speech, where he is narrating his experience in Alipur jail, where he received divine instruction for taking his work forward. In this excerpt, Sri Aurobindo identifies the divine voice as voice of Sri Krishna and refers to it as he. Meanwhile, he had brought me out of solitude and placed me among those who had been accused along with me. You have spoken much today of my self-sacrifice and devotion to my country. I have heard that kind of speech ever since I came out of jail, but I hear it with embarrassment, with something of pain. For I know my weakness. I am a prey to my own faults and backslidings. I was not blind to them before, and when they all rose up against me in seclusion, I felt them utterly. I knew then that I, the man, was mass of weakness, a faulty and imperfect instrument, strong only when a higher strength entered into me. Then I found myself among these men, and in many of them I discovered a mighty courage, a power of effacement in comparison with which I was simply nothing. I saw one or two who were not only superior to me in force and character, very many were that, but in the promise of that intellectual ability on which I prided myself. He said to me, "This is a young generation, the new and mighty nation that is arising at my command. They are greater than yourself. If you stood aside or slept, the work would still be done. If you were cast aside tomorrow, here are the young men who will take up your work and do it more mightily you have ever done. You have got only some strength from me to speak a word to this nation, which will help you to rise it." Thank you, all of you.
Very good, Ragini. Very good. Next, we have Sarthak Mishra, class 7.
Very nice. Very, very nice.
Good afternoon, all the teachers and all my friends present here. I am Sarthak Mishra of class 7D, and today I am going to present my speech of Sri Aurobindo's Uttarpara speech excerpt. But before that, I am also going to tell you why these speeches and read all the thoughts present in the minds of these great personalities. So, as it is said, speech is the mirror of the soul. As a man speaks, so is he. All these speeches are said or orated by great visionaries who have put in their thoughts which throw light on the patriotism or their love for India and the firm desire for its freedom. These all are worth knowing, as these are the words of wisdom. As I read Sri Aurobindo's Uttarpara speech excerpt, I understood his devotion both towards the country and to the Almighty. The Britishers considered him as the most dangerous freedom fighter because he had the capability to prove his opinion and to put it in everyone's minds, not forcefully, but logically. He was not only a brilliant writer, but also a dynamic orator and was rapidly spreading his thoughts of India's freedom throughout the country. Thus, the Britishers realized the kind of danger that he had become for them, and so they decided to jail him. In the jail, amidst his solitude, he recognized and heard the Almighty, which he refers to as Sri Krishna, speak to him about carrying his thoughts and his work forward. There he got the knowledge or the gyan about taking his dharma and his karma forward. And so, when he got out of jail, he played a major role in India's freedom fight. He also wrote many shlokas and stotras in the praise of Mother India, which he refers to as Bhavani Bharati. So, eventually, we can say that the Almighty also praises one's love for the country and always guides us to do the same. This beautiful excerpt left a great impact on me, and thus I would say that reading the speeches of these great personalities, which had charismatic persona, will be very beneficial for us in our life and will arise our love for India, the wonderful country in which we live. I would also like to thank all the teachers for giving us such a beautiful golden opportunity. Thank you. Vande Mataram. Now, I would like to start with my speech, which is taken from Sri Aurobindo's Uttarpara speech excerpt, where he is narrating an incident in Alipur jail. In Alipur jail, where he received divine instruction for taking his work forward. In this excerpt, Sri Aurobindo identifies the divine voice as voice of Sri Krishna and refers to it as he. Meanwhile, he had brought me out of solitude and placed me among those who had been accused along with me. You have spoken much today of my self-sacrifice and devotion to my country. I have heard that kind of speech ever since I came out of jail, but I hear it with embarrassment, with something of pain, for I know my weakness. I am a prey to my own faults and backslidings. I was not blind to them before, And when they all rose up against me in seclusion, I felt them utterly. I knew then that I, the man, was a mass of weakness, a faulty, imperfect instrument, strong only when a higher strength entered into me. Then I found myself among these young men, and in many of them I discovered a mighty courage, a power of self-effacement, in comparison with which I was simply nothing. I saw one or two who were not only superior to me in force and character, very many were that, but in the promise of that intellectual ability on which I prided myself. He said to me, "This is the young generation, the new and mighty nation that is arising at my command. They are greater than yourself. What have you to fear? If you stood aside or slept, the work would still be done. If you were cast aside tomorrow, here are the young men who will take up your work and do it more mightily than you have ever done. You have only got some strength from me to speak a word to this nation, which will help to raise it. Thank you."
Very, very good. Even the introduction to the speech was very well written.
Thank
Very
you so much,
beautiful.
ma'am. Thank you so much.
Very well delivered.
May I add something? Sarthak, can you come forward?
Yes, ma'am.
Children who are there, I've been wanting to talk to you, Sarthak, but children who are there, they must understand he's an inspiration for so many of you. And he grabs every opportunity and participates in that. In this online module, can you tell me what have you done? What are the different competitions in which you participated?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I have participated in the Anandotsav singing competition, the Jhankar Beats dance competition, the creative writing English, the creative writing Hindi. I have also taken part in the flyer competition that came yesterday only. I also took in the mask making competition, and I also took part and I also got the certificate for 100% attendance. And I also took part in the Hindi creative writing, also the IT Fest competition.
And the quiz?
Yes,
and the
ma'am.
Preliminary rounds of quiz?
The preliminary rounds of quiz and the crescendo Hindi elocution.
And then the special composition that you did with Pragya ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. The singing competition which we are doing for the intra-school competitions.
So you've forgotten some of your... That's the way it should be. That's the way it should be for all of you, that you should do so much to excel yourselves that you yourself, don't remember all that you've done, but it is just your progress which is seen. So glad. So glad.
And he was the one of the most active in the spiritual retreat. He used to join in much before the time, and till the end he would wait and talk, and he was very, very participative and interactive in the spirit throughout the 5 or 6 days of spiritual retreat.
And then 100% attendance. And then 100% attendance as well. So
very good, Sarthak. Very good. Exceptional.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Means a lot to me.
God bless you, Sarthak. Next, we have Aditri from class 7.
Ma'am, may I start?
Yes, Aditri.
Ma'am,
please put the spotlight on Aditri.
Subhash Chandra Bose. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Aditri of class 7C. I chose this speech motivation. Subhash Chandra Bose, 4 जुलाई 1944, बर्मा। मित्रों, 1 साल पहले जब मैंने आपसे कुछ मांगे की थी, तब मैंने कहा था कि अगर आप मुझे पूर्ण संग्रहण दोगे तो मैं आपको दूसरा मोर्चा दूंगा। मैंने उस वचन को निभाया है। हमारे पहला चरण खत्म हो गया। हमारे विजयी सैनिक जापानी सैनिकों के साथ कंधे से कंधा मिलाकर लड़ रहे हैं। उन्होंने दुश्मनों को पीछे ढकेल दिया है और अब बहादुरी से अपनी मातृभूमि की पावन धरती पर लड़ रहे हैं। आगे जो काम है उसके लिए अपनी कमर कस लीजिए। मैंने मैन मनी मटेरियल के लिए कहा था, मुझे वो पर्याप्त मात्रा में मिल गए हैं। अब मुझे आप चाहिए। मैन मनी मटेरियल अपने आप में जीत या स्वतंत्रता नहीं दिला सकते। हमारे अंदर प्रेरणा की शक्ति होनी चाहिए जो हमें वीरतापूर्ण और साहसिक कार्य करने के लिए प्रेरित करे। सिर्फ ऐसी इच्छा रखना कि अब भारत स्वतंत्र हो जाएगा, क्योंकि विजय अब हमारी पहुंच में है, एक घातक गलती होगी। किसी के अंदर स्वतंत्रता का आनंद लेने के लिए जीने की इच्छा नहीं होनी चाहिए। हमारे सामने अभी भी एक लंबी लड़ाई। आज हमारे अंदर बस एक ही इच्छा होनी चाहिए, मरने की इच्छा, ताकि भारत जी सके। एक शहीद की मृत्यु की इच्छा, ताकि स्वतंत्रता का पद शहीदों के रक्त से प्रशस्त हो सके। मित्रों, स्वतंत्रता संग्राम में भाग ले रहे मेरे साथियों, आज मैं किसी भी चीज से ज्यादा आपसे एक चीज की मांग करता हूँ। मैं आपसे खून की मांग करता हूँ। केवल खून ही दुश्मन द्वारा बहाए गए खून का बदला ले सकता है। सिर्फ और सिर्फ खून ही आजादी की कीमत चुका सकता है। तुम मुझे खून दो, मैं तुम्हें आजादी दूंगा।
Very good.
So after Aditri, we have Samriddhi Shukla from class 7.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Samriddhi Shukla from class 7A. Today, I am going to deliver a speech of Mrs. Sarojini Naidu at Lucknow Congress in 1916. Mrs. Sarojini Naidu was the Nightingale of India. She also was a born poet. I chose this speech because the words Mrs. Sarojini Naidu, being a female and a poet at that time, were to motivate the people towards the freedom and patriotism of their motherland. She delivered a stirring speech while supporting the resolution on self-government for India. She said, "I am merely a spectator from the watchtower of dreams, and I watch the swift and troubled, sometimes checkered, but nevertheless indomitable time spirit marching on in a pageant of triumph to the desired goal. We stand united, but united with such strength that nothing from outside, not even the tyranny of colonial domination, shall withhold from us our rights and privileges, withhold from us the liberties that are due, which we claim by our united voice. Centuries have gone by. Old divisions are healed. The old wounds have got cured. To each of us has come that living consciousness, that is united service for the motherland, that constitutes the uppermost hope of tomorrow. There is no one so mean, so weak, so selfish as not to think that in the service of the motherland lies the joy greater than all personal joys. Suffering for her comes the supermost consolation in our personal sorrow. And in her worship is the absolution of sin. To live for her is the most victorious triumph of life. To die for her is to achieve the priceless crown of immortality. Thank you.
Very good. Very good. Full of power.
Well done, Samriddhi. After Samriddhi, we have Aradhya from class 7.
Yes, sir.
Let's put the spotlight on Aradhya. Suresh.
Good morning, dear teachers. Today, I, Aradhya Singh, is going to deliver the speech of Subhash Chandra Bose, which he spoke at Burma in 4th July 1944. I choose this speech because this speech tells us about the great freedom fighters who have sacrificed their lives for the independence of our country. They are the great pillars behind the independence of our country. मित्रों, एक साल पहले मैंने आपसे कुछ मांगे की थी। तब मैंने आपसे कहा था कि अगर आप मुझे पूर्ण संग्रहण देंगे तो मैं आपको दूसरा मोर्चा दूंगा। मैंने उस वचन को निभाया है। हमारे अभियान का पहला चरण खत्म हो गया। हमारे विजय सैनिक जापानी सैनिकों के साथ कंधे से कंधा मिलाकर लड़ रहे हैं। उन्होंने दुश्मनों को पीछे ढकेल दिया है और अब बहादुरी से अपनी मातृभूमि की पावन धरती पर लड़ रहे हैं। आगे जो काम है उसके लिए आप अपनी कमर कस लीजिए। मैंने मैन मनी मटेरियल की मांग की थी, मुझे वो पर्याप्त मात्रा में मिल चुका है, अब मुझे आप चाहिए। मैन मनी मटेरियल अपने आप में जीत या स्वतंत्रता नहीं दिला सकता। हमारे अंदर प्रेरणा की शक्ति होनी चाहिए जो हमें वीरतापूर्ण और साहसिक कार्य करने के लिए प्रेरित करे। सिर्फ ऐसी इच्छा रखना कि भारत स्वतंत्र हो जाएगा क्योंकि विजय हमारी पहुंच में है, एक घातक गलती हो सकती है। हमारे अंदर स्वतंत्रता का आनंद लेने के लिए जीने की इच्छा नहीं होनी चाहिए। हमारे सामने अभी भी एक लंबी लड़ाई है। आज हमारे अंदर सिर्फ एक इच्छा होनी चाहिए, मरने की इच्छा, ताकि भारत जी सके। एक शहीद के मृत्यु की इच्छा, ताकि स्वतंत्रता का पथ शहीदों के रक्त से प्रशस्त हो सके। मित्रों, स्वतंत्रता संग्राम में भाग ले रहे मेरे साथियों, आज मैं किसी भी चीज से ज्यादा आपसे सिर्फ एक चीज की मांग करूंगा। मैं आपसे आपके खून की मांग करूंगा। सिर्फ खून ही दुश्मनों द्वारा बहाए हुए खून का बदला ले सकता है। सिर्फ और सिर्फ खून ही आजादी की कीमत चुका सकता है। तुम मुझे खून दो, मैं तुम्हें आजादी दूंगा। थैंक यू।
Very good, Aradhya. Very good. Very good.
So after Aradhya, we have Man Kitia from class 8. Man?
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Mangiria of class 8E. I am going to deliver Sri Aurobindo's Uttar Para speech. I have selected this speech because it inspires me to be better self. Life gives us challenges. We should have the courage to face them. No one is perfect. We learn with experience. Sri Aurobindo has rightly said, by our stumbling, the world is perfected. Taken from Sri Aurobindo's Uttar Para speech, where he's narrating his experience in Alipore jail, where he received divine instructions for taking his work forward. In this excerpt, Sri Aurobindo identifies the divine voice as the voice of Sri Krishna and refers it to as he. Meanwhile, he had brought me out of solitude and placed me among those who had been accused along with me. You have spoken much today of my self-sacrifice and devotion to my country. I have heard this kind of speech ever since I came out of jail, but I hear it with embarrassment, with something of pain. For I know my weakness. I am a prey to my own faults and backslidings. I was not blind to them before, but when they all rose up against me in seclusion, I felt them utterly. For I know I, the man, was a mass of weakness, a faulty and imperfect instrument, strong only when a higher strength entered into me. Then I found myself among these young men, and in many of them I discovered a mighty courage, a power of self-effacement, in comparison with which I was simply nothing. One or two were not only superior to me in force and character, very many were that, but in the promise of that intellectual ability on which I prided myself. He said to me, "This is the young generation, the new and mighty nation that is arising at my command. They are greater than yourself. What have you to fear? If you stood aside or slept, the work would still be done. If you were to cast aside tomorrow, here are the young men that will take up your work and do it even more mightilier than you've ever done. You have only got some power from me to speak a word to this nation, which will help to raise it." Thank you.
Very, very good. Very well delivered.
Thank you.
So thank you, Man. Next we have Ekansh from class 8. Ekansh Singh.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Ekansh Singh of class 8D, and today I am going to deliver Bal Gangadhar Tilak's speech, "Freedom is my birthright." I chose this speech because I was inspired by Bal Gangadhar Tilak's idea of home rule and how he told that only literacy cannot tell us about one's self-image or intelligence. Who doesn't understand the meaning of home rule? Who doesn't desire it? If I enter your house as a guest, reside there forever, and if I don't pay heed when you oppose, would you like it? According to some people, we don't have the right to home rule. The British are ruling over us for the past century, and they say that we are not fit for home rule. If the century of the British rule hasn't been able to make us competent enough for home rule, then we will make ourselves fit for it. They find it shameful that we are making efforts to save our country. On the other hand, England itself is trying to save the small state of Belgium with India's help. Isn't that shameful for them? Those who find a selfish motive behind our demands or home rule can even find fault in the all-merciful God. We all must save the soul of our nation from this custody of foreign rule. We have to toil for it, but it is a birthright to protect our nation. The Congress has passed this Home Rule resolution. Some selfish interests oppose India's demands for home rule in practical politics on the pretext of several issues that are ridding our country. One such issue is illiteracy. But together we can all eradicate it. Remember, one such issue can only be solved with cooperation. It would be sufficient for us that even the illiterate in our country have a dire desire for Swaraj. Let it be the strength of all. Those who can easily complete their work can be illiterate, but they are not foolish. They can be as intelligent as any literate person. Literacy cannot be the parameter for intelligence. Thank you.
Archana ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Very good, Ekansh. So, and thank you. After Ekansh, we begin with class 9. Priyamvada, your turn. Priyamvada Singh from class 9.
आदरणीय शिक्षक, गुरुजन और मेरे प्यारे मित्रों, यह हमारे लिए बड़े सौभाग्य का विषय है कि हमारे स्कूल की प्रिय वाइस चेयरपर्सन श्रीमती अंजलि जयपुरिया की प्रेरणा से आज हम सब इस शुभ दिन पर एक साथ आए हैं। इग्नाइटिंग यंग सोल्स कार्यक्रम से हम युवाओं को विश्व के महान व्यक्तियों के अनमोल वचनों को जानने, समझने और अपने अंदर आत्मसात करने का मौका मिलता है। मानव सभ्यता के इतिहास में ऐसा कभी नहीं हुआ है कि बिना उत्कृष्ट विचारों के कोई व्यक्ति प्रसिद्ध हुआ हो, चाहे वो श्री बाल गंगाधर तिलक की स्वतंत्रता के लिए इच्छा हो, श्रीमती सरोजनी नायडू का कोकिल स्वर या डॉक्टर एपीजे अब्दुल कलाम के महान विचार। सब हमारे लिए प्रेरणादायक हैं और हमें इनका चिंतन एवं अभिनंदन करने की पूरी कोशिश करनी चाहिए। अब मैं अपने वचन से प्रारंभ करती हूँ। A very good afternoon to everyone present here. My name is Priyamvada Singh and I am a student of class 9A. People often regard me as an ambitious and a cheerful girl, and I try my best to live up to that. I strongly believe that learning is a lifelong process and it has no boundaries. We learn not by chance, but by our choice. Thus, I try to assimilate in myself as much knowledge as I can. I find our great Indian history really fascinating and inspiring, especially our freedom struggle and the uplifting visions put forward by our great leaders that helped us achieve this independence. Thus, today I will be speaking the speech of Sri Bal Gangadhar Tilak, or the father of Indian unrest, in which he inspires the people to propel towards Swaraj or complete independence. Who doesn't understand the meaning of home rule? Who doesn't desire it? If I enter your house as a guest, reside there forever, and if I don't pay heed when you oppose, would you like it? According to some people, we don't have the right to home rule. The British are ruling over us for the past century and say we are not fit for home rule. If the century of British rule hasn't been able to make us competent enough for home rule, then we will make ourselves fit for it. We find it shameful that we are making efforts to save our own country. On the other hand, England itself is trying to protect its small state of Belgium with India's help. Isn't that shameful for them? Those who find a selfish motive behind our demands or home rule can even find fault in the all-merciful God. We must save the soul of our nation from the custody of foreign rule. We have to toil for it, but it is our birthright to protect our nation. The Congress has given this a home rule resolution. Some selfish interests oppose India's demand for home rule in practical politics on pretext of several issues ridding our country. One such issue is illiteracy. But together we can all eradicate it. Remember, such issues can only be solved with cooperation. It would be sufficient for us that even the illiterate in our country have a dire desire for Swaraj. Let it be the strength of all. Those who can easily complete their work can be illiterate but not foolish. Literacy cannot be the parameter for intelligence. Thank you.
Very nice. Very, very nice.
Thank you, Priyamvada. And after Priyamvada, we have Prakriti Singh from class 9. Prakriti, be ready.
Good afternoon, respected teachers and my fellow mates. I would like to tell you all a little something about my name is Prakriti Singh and I'm a grader. As a person, I'm very diligent and I firmly believe in the values of groundedness, kindness, and progress. For the longest time of my childhood, I've been an introvert. But now you see, as one grows in age and in mind, we come to explore a lot of aspects of ourselves. Once I started to do the same, I became even more confident and there has been ever unstoppable within me. I'm grateful to all the people who have helped me become all that I am today and I'm yet to be. Now, to continue, I have chosen Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam's speech. This is because Dr. Kalam has pointed out a very imperative idea in his speech, that is the lack of self-confidence, which is still relevant today. Through his speech, he wanted to boost the confidence of his nation. It is very necessary that we understand the importance of self-confidence. Lack of confidence can hold us back from reaching our main objective. It makes no sense if we have the potential, but we lack the confidence to stand up to the world. The second reason why I have chosen Dr. Kalam's speech is because this speech has made me proud of the fact that we Indians have a wonderful quality of respecting the freedom of others. There have been so many countries who have come to our nation and tried to destroy our culture. Yet, we have not enforced our way of life on them. Why? Because we regard freedom with respect. If we respect others, only then will we be able to gain our self-esteem, which we truly deserve. Lastly, nothing comes without inspiration. Dr. Kalam has been my role model. He rightly said, and I quote, "If you fail, never give up, because to fail means the first attempt in learning. And it's not the end. In fact, it means that effort never dies. If you get as an answer, remember, no means the next opportunity." Unquote. He was a person who strongly believed that life is full of sniffles, sobs, and smiles. With some success. For me, epitome of humility. He was a man of simplicity, and his dedication towards his profession, patriotism, and his love for children is always an inspiration for every individual. Now, I would like to begin with the speech. In the 3,000 years of our history, people from all over the world have come and invaded us, captured our lands, and conquered our minds. From Alexander onwards, the Greeks, the Turks, the Mughals, the French, and the Dutch, all of them came and looted us, took over what was ours. Yet, we have not done this to any other nation. We have not conquered anyone. We have not grabbed their land, their culture, their history, and tried to enforce our way of life on them. Why? Because we respect the freedom of others. That is why my first vision is that of freedom. I believe that India got its first vision of this in 1857 when we started the War of Independence. It is this freedom that we must protect and nurture and build on. 3. No one will respect us. My second vision for India's development, for 50 years, we have see ourselves top 5% of the world in terms of we have a 10% growth in most areas. See us self-reliant. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. Very good. Keep it up.
Thank you, Prakriti. Now, after Prakriti, we have Aditya Mishra from class 9.
Your speech doesn't only define what your thoughts are, but also influences the thinking and life of many others. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today, now I would like to present my rendition of the revered Nightingale of India, Mrs. Sarojini Naidu's speech she first delivered at the Lucknow joint session of the Indian National Congress and the Muslim League in favor of a motion for the rights to self-government for the Indians. I chose this speech as Mrs. Naidu is one of my favorite freedom fighters as well as poets. I strongly share her opinion that those who do not have the courage to share her country are the weakest, most selfish people. Now I would like to begin my speech. I am merely a spectator from the watchtower of dream, and I watched the swift and troubled, sometimes checkered but nevertheless indomitable, time spirit marching on in a pageant of triumphs to the desired goal. We stand united, but united with such strength that nothing from outside, not even the tyranny of colonial domination, shall withhold us from our rights and privileges, withhold us from the liberties that are due, which we claim by our united voice. Centuries have gone by. The old divisions are healed. Old wounds have got cured. To each of us has come that living consciousness that its united service for the motherland that constitutes the uppermost hope of tomorrow. There is no one so mean, so weak, so selfish as to not think that in the service of the motherland lies a joy greater than all personal joys. In suffering for her comes the supermost consolation in our personal sorrow, and in her worship is the absolution of sin. To live for her is the most victorious triumph of life. To die for her is to achieve the priceless crown of immortality. Thank you.
Very good, very good.
Thank you, Aditya. And still these words are very contemporary, children. So contemplate on the words also side by side. So next we have Aditya Jain from class 9.
Good morning one and all. Today I, Aditya Jain from class 9C, am going to present before you this speech delivered by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam at the IIT Tech Fest. I chose this speech because I found it really nice how our late visionary president Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam has put his thoughts so wonderfully. His visions for our country to become the best has inspired me. It tells how great our country was and will remain the greatest. I have 3 visions for India. In 3,000 years of our history, people from all over the world have come and invaded us, captured our lands, conquered our minds. From Alexander onwards, the Greeks, the Turks, the Mughals, the Portuguese, the British, the French, the Dutch, all of them came and looted us, took over what was ours. Yet, we have not done this to any other nation. We have not conquered anyone. We have not grabbed their land, their culture, their history, and tried to enforce our way of life on them. Why? Because we respect the freedom of others. That is why my first vision is that of freedom. I believe that India got its first vision of this in 1857, when we started the War of Independence. It is this freedom that we must protect and nurture and build on. If we are not free, no one will respect us. My second vision for India's development. For 50 years, we have been a developing nation. It is time we see ourselves as a developed nation. We are among the top 5 nations of the world in terms of GDP. We have a 10% growth rate in most areas. Our poverty levels are falling. Our achievements are being globally recognized today. Yet, We lack the self-confidence to see ourselves as a developed nation, self-reliant and self-assured. Isn't this incorrect? I have a third vision. India must stand up to the world because I believe that unless India stands up to the world, no one will respect us. Only strength respects strength. We must be strong, not only as a military power, but also as an economic power. Both must go hand in hand. My good fortune was to have worked with three great minds: Dr. Vikram Sarabhai of the Department of Space, Professor Satish Dhawan, he succeeded him, and Dr. Brahm Prakash, father of nuclear material. I was lucky to have worked with all three of them closely and consider this the great opportunity of my life. I see 4 milestones in my career. Thank you.
Well done, Aditya Jain. After Aditya, we have Zaveria Qureshi from class 9.
Good morning, one and all. I, Javeria Qureshi, is here to deliver one of the most popular speech by Bal Gangadhar Tilak on the formation of the Home Rule League in 1917 at Nasik. I chose this speech because the way Shri Bal Gangadhar Tilak ji has motivated the people to be self-reliant with his inspiring words. The speech goes as this: I am young in spirit, even if my body has grown old. The young spirit inside me is still alive. Whatever I'm saying today is deeply felt by the young spirit inside me. The body can wilt, it can decrepit, or even perish, but the soul residing in the body is forever young. Similarly, if our home rule activities slow down, the freedom of our inner spirit cannot sustain, and no longer will it be indestructible. Then we ourselves will start believing that we are slaves. Freedom is my birthright. I will not be old as long as it is alive within me. This feeling of freedom, no weapon can cut this off. No fire can burn it. No water can drown it. And no wind can blow it. We are asking for home rule and we will get it. The science of politics teaches us that we cannot achieve through slavery what we can through home rule. The political progress is the pillar of a nation. I want to invoke your soul that yearns for freedom, which will only happen through the political progress. I want to destroy the superstition of slavery that has blinded your spirit. This superstition is the reason why you are being let down by ignorant, conniving, and selfish people. There are two sides of science of politics. While one is celestial, another is demonic. The slavery of any nation is the demonic side. There cannot be a moral justification for this. A nation which might justify this is sinful in the sight of God. Some bravely oppose this demonic side of oppression, while some who cannot never be able to declare what is harmful to them. These people are capable of giving political and religious teaching, but they do not educate the common people about it. Religious and political teachings are not separate, though they appear to be so on account of foreign rule. All philosophies are included in the science of politics. Who doesn't understand the meaning of home rule? Who doesn't desire it? If I enter your house as a guest, reside there forever, and if I don't pay heed when you oppose, would you like it? According to some people, we don't have the right to home rule. The British are ruling over us for the past century, and they say we are not fit for home rule. If the century of British rule hasn't been able to make us competent enough for home rule, then we will make ourselves fit for it. They find it shameful that we are making efforts to save our country. On the other hand, England itself is trying to protect the small state of Belgium, with India's help. Isn't that shameful for them? Those who find a selfish motive behind our demands or home rule can even find fault in the all-merciful God. We all must save the soul of our nation from this custody of foreign rule. We have to toil for it, but it is our birthright to protect our nation. The Congress has passed this home rule resolution. Some selfish interests oppose India's demand for home rule in practical politics on the pretext of several issues ridding our country. One such issue is illiteracy. But together, we all can eradicate it. Remember, such issues can only be solved with cooperation. It would be sufficient for us that even the illiterate in our country have a dire desire for Swaraj. Let it be strength of all. Those who can easily complete their work can be illiterate, but not foolish. They can be as intelligent as illiterate person. Literacy cannot be the parameter for intelligence. It is not that difficult to attain Swaraj. Thus, illiteracy can never be the obstacle in the way. Our uneducated brethren are equally important for this country's home rule. They have equal rights. The circumstances change in no time. Today, only one's voice echoes, now or never. Therefore, we must take advantage of this opportunity given to us by God and should put our maximum efforts in the struggle of home rule. Turn not back and confidently leave the ultimate issue to the benevolence of the Almighty. Thank you.
Very nice. Very nice, Javeria.
Thank you, Javeria.
Excellent.
And now we have Parth Singh from class 11, our last speaker.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Parth Singh of class 11th, and I would like you to take a moment and imagine a developed India where everyone receives proper healthcare, justice, and opportunities. Well, it was this India that Dr. Kalam wished to see in reality. Dr. Kalam has forever been my hero and my idol. I've chosen this particular speech since Dr. Kalam was one of the very few politicians who was not only a visionary, but also had practical views for the development of this country. He inspired the youth and told them that if you want to leave your footprints in the sands of time, then just do not drag your feet. Thus, I would like to deliver an excerpt from Dr. Kalam's address at IIT Hyderabad on 25th May 2011. I have three visions for India. In the 3,000 years of our history, people from all over the world have come and invaded us. They have captured our lands and conquered our minds. From Alexander onwards, the Greeks, the Turks, the Mughals, the Portuguese, the British, the Dutch, the French, all of them have come, looted us, and took over what was ours. Yet, we have not done this to any other nation. We have not conquered anyone. We have not grabbed their lands, their culture, their history, and tried to enforce our way of life on them. Why? Because we respect the freedom of others. That's why my first vision is that of freedom. I believe that India got its first vision of this in 1857, when we started the first war of independence. It is this freedom that we must protect, nurture, and build on. Because if you're not free, no one will respect us. The second vision is for India's development. For 50 years, we have been a developing nation. It is time that we see ourselves as a developed nation. We are among the top 5 nations in the world in terms of GDP. We have a 10% growth rate in most areas. Our poverty levels are falling. Our achievements are being globally recognized today. Yet, we lack the self-confidence to consider ourselves as a developed nation, self-assured and self-reliant. Isn't this incorrect? I have a third vision. India must stand up to the world. Because I believe unless India stands up to the world, no one will respect us. Only strength respects strength. We must be strong not only as a military power, but also as an economic power. It is my good fortune to have worked with three great minds: Dr. Vikram Sarabhai of the Department of Space, Professor Satish Dhawan, who succeeded him, and Dr. Brahm Prakash, the father of nuclear material. I have worked with all three of them closely and consider it the great opportunity of my life. Thank you.
Here, our journey comes to a station, rather, I would say, for today. And we would request you to give your suggestions, your comments, so that children's morale could be boosted.
Okay.
And a feedback also. So that in the next session, we...
So I would not like to give my own feedback. I would like to take the view of my students with whatever suggestions I give. First of all, you all did a wonderful delivery of your speeches. It was really nice. And those who gave their own personal introduction was even better, because there was something personal that you had added to it. It wasn't just a speech that was memorized and delivered or read. So it was very beautiful when I heard some introductions which were written personally. It is very important to give your own point of view, and to have the same introduction given by 5 students or 2 students. No, that's not Jaipuria School. Not at all. Every child writes for themselves. They take the help of their teachers or their mentors, but every student writes for themselves, whatever they write. The second suggestion, Archana ma'am, is the same speech being repeated again and again and again. We have a plethora of speeches in the world. Plethora of speeches in India. So we don't need to just take 3 speeches and then every child is repeating the same thing. Let them get to hear when one child picks up one leader and the other another leader, and the third the same leader with another speech. So the pan vision and the learning is of a much greater level.
Yes.
So I don't think next time we should have so many repetitions of the same speech.
Yes,
there should be a much bigger variety of speeches that should be picked up. And there is. We have that richness in India.
Yes.
So we begin with India for a few sessions, maybe a month or 2 months or 3 months or 5 months, and then we move on to other countries as well. Yeah. But
Yes.
let us widen the choices.
We'll
Yeah.
do that.
And let the children write their own introductions.
Yes.
Their personal introductions.
We'll
And there was a lot of zest in some of the students, which was very beautiful, because the speech, when it must have been delivered, must have had that zest, that whole ignition that was being done. That must be, जिनमें थोड़ा कम था उसको थोड़ा, they have to increase that, depending on the occasion on which the speech must have been delivered. If it was to awaken the people of India for independence, there has to be a lot of ignition. If it is some other speech, it has to be something different. Yeah. So, but it was a very beautiful initiative, and it has been carried off very beautifully. And I loved the excitement and the love with which the children take part. It's very beautiful. Thank you.
Now we request Pramini ma'am to bless us and give us suggestions.
Let us. Anjali ma'am, you wanted to ask the children something, I believe.
I've forgotten. What was it?
You had said that you wanted the feedback from children.
What do the children feel? Yes, my dear students, I'm going to get you on the gallery view. Do you feel that there should be a bigger variety of leaders and speeches rather than repeating the same, or you feel the same speech repeated again and again by many students is a better idea?
Ma'am, more speeches.
Ma'am, a bigger variety.
We should get to know about more freedom fighters that have led their life to death, and
Ma'am, I consider India as the country which has the most social workers or the freedom fighters, and
Yes,
their
ma'am.
contributions are innumerable. So there are not a scarcity of speeches in the country.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
think,
Ma'am,
yes,
but in
ma'am.
the history there was no unity. Ma'am, like in 1970 BC, there was no unity in the country. But after that, the gradually, like 1980s, this the period we came to know there was more unity in our country.
Right.
The country was more powerful.
Yes. And the speeches can be of our freedom fighters, but they can also be speeches of later years after
Yes, ma'am.
independence, right?
Yes, ma'am.
They can be,
Correct.
yeah. We don't have to only
Ma'am,
go
speech of
back.
Atal Bihari Vajpayee,
Yeah.
which he said when he became the prime minister in 1990s.
Yeah, what a
The
statesman he
motivation
was.
he gave.
Or ma'am, we
Rajendra
could even
Prasad,
take Twist with
Mr.
Destiny.
We could even take
Twist with Destiny.
Twist with Destiny, Nehru ji. Okay, very good. So there are so many. Next time, let's do it soon, and let's have a variety, a bigger variety, because the students also feel there should be a variety,
Yes,
right?
they'll choose
And
on their own, and we'll see to it that they are different.
yeah, and not only independence, we can move forward in time.
Yes.
Unfortunately, our history has been written by the Congress people, and they felt as if they just glorified Congress, and then they just finished our history books, at least in my time and my children's time. History books
Still
stopped.
it's the same. Still it's the
Yeah,
same.
yeah, but what about the history after independence? 70 years, children know nothing of what happened in the political scene of India. Isn't that absolutely ridiculous? We just tied down British ने हमारे पर रूल किया, Portuguese ने, Mughals ने. What happened after independence? Why don't my children know about that?
Ma'am, Indira Gandhi's speech when she gave when she became the prime minister.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
even
Pranav
even
Mukherjee's-
in our history
Mukherjee's
textbooks, ma'am, in our history textbook, it is always portrayed that the Mughal era was one of the greatest and most prosperous eras.
Rubbish. What?
Yes,
When
ma'am.
they were prosperous, but what were they doing? They were just looting us.
Yes,
Ma'am, they were
ma'am.
barbarians.
Ma'am, they did nothing. They did nothing for the betterment of our country.
Yeah,
They only
they were
expanded
just-
their
Ma'am, but what
empire.
about the
They only
ma'am, but what
expanded
about
their empire.
the
Yes,
ma'am, but
yes,
what about the Taj Mahal? It's one of the seven wonders of the world, and
Yes,
that is
and
one
the-
of
and
the
the
reason
thumbs-
very tourists are there.
and the thumbs were cut off of the people who made the Taj
And
Mahal.
ma'am, many people say that the Taj Mahal is a testament to love. That's all, ma'am. I would say that's rubbish. The man had at least 50 other wives.
Exactly. What love was there?
Ma'am, my
Yes,
mother
ma'am.
told that. My mother told that the poets of the Mughal Empire wrote just that thing which the rulers told them to write. Ma'am, like Babarnama. Ma'am,
Yes,
Babar
ma'am.
told
Ma'am, they were told to write something good
Ma'am, why
about the
would anyone
kings.
write? Ma'am, why would anyone write the bad points that he has done in the
Yes,
history?
Ma'am, like there's
Ma'am,
this
there are
whole
many-
history is written
One at a
history is
time,
written
one
by
at
the
a time.
victors.
Ma'am, but there are certain contributions which they have done to India.
Yes, they have given some contribution, no doubt. The architecture, we were able to blend in the Mughal architecture with our Indian architecture, no doubt.
Ma'am, but-
No
ma'am,
doubt
but
the
I-
Britishers gave us the railways. But
But
if the
ma'am-
Britishers had not come, we were
Yes,
we
ma'am.
were really rich. They caused
Yes,
the plague, they caused famines, they took away our entire food. They killed millions of
Ma'am,
people. just
before the
like that.
Britishers kept
So
looting
we can't
India.
just think they gave us railways. If they didn't give us railways, we would still have had railways. We were a very
Yes, ma'am.
scientific
Yes,
brain.
ma'am. And ma'am,
They-
Ma'am, it
before
is not that.
ma'am,
it is
before
not that if the
Britishers
Mughals had
conquered
not done
India.
It is not that if the
Yes.
Mughals had not done that thing, then we would not be able to do it ever in time. We had the capability to do it ourselves.
Exactly.
Ma'am, they just
Ma'am,
wanted
but
to
I don't
follow
know one
their
thing.
history.
Why
They
did
just
why
got
did
our
all the
history books, all the previous history of our civilizations, they just burned the books and wanted us to follow their history. Their
And
way
they
of
burnt,
Ma'am, before
burnt down
ma'am, before any country conquered us, our land was called Sone ki Chiriya because it was really very rich.
Yes, and they burned down Nalanda.
Nalanda University, yes, ma'am.
Which had so many books.
Ma'am, more than 14,000 books.
Yes, it took at
Ma'am,
least
its
a month.
library was the biggest library in India.
5 months to
It
burn
took
the
2 months for it to burn because there
Ma'am,
were
if
so many
Nalanda
books.
University would have existed, then the British library would not be the largest library in the world.
Yes, so we have to be grateful to them for what they've given us, but let us be progressive and let us move forward. Not only, of course, we must remember the speeches of those great people who, because of whom we got independence. And by the way, Congress at that time was asking for partial independence because they believe that nobody can rule over us as well as the Britishers. Nobody can run the country as well as the Britishers. So they asked for partial independence. And if you read Arya, you can Google
they were
it.
not supporting our country.
Then Sri Aurobindo is the one who first asked for complete independence. It was Sri Aurobindo who said, no, we can run our country. We don't need Britishers to run our country. We don't want partial independence. We want complete independence.
And that is one of the reasons why he is considered as the most dangerous freedom fighter.
Yes.
Because he started spreading the thought of complete independence.
Yes.
Ma'am, but the bad thing is that due to all this history being written by the not very intellectual people, what happened is that Sri Aurobindo, most of us know Sri Aurobindo as a very great spiritual person. We know that, but there is this very silent majority that know that he was actually the most firebrand freedom fighter of his generation.
Yes, he was the most firebrand, and he was considered as the most dangerous by the Britishers. And it is when he came out of, when he was acquitted from the case, he heard a voice, and the voice said that you go to Chandanagar. And he said to the voice, he asked himself, he said, if I go to Chandanagar, what will happen about the independence movement? I have come to India so that I can get the freedom for the country. And the voice replied to him that the freedom of the country is assured. I assure you. It was 1910. But to Sri Aurobindo, he said, that voice said, you have to do something much greater for the world. You have to bring something into the world. And you just go to Chandanagar. He went to Chandanagar and he again waited because he didn't know what he had to do. And he waited and waited, and then the voice said, now you go to Pondicherry. And then his spiritual journey started. And look at what he has given to the world.
Ma'am, I want to ask something.
Yes, who's that?
Ma'am, Aradhya.
Yes, Aradhya.
Ma'am, I have not understood that why did all the foreign rulers came to India and made the architectures here. Ma'am, they were having their countries also, so they could make their architectures there also. Why did they?
So Aradhya, only those people made architecture here, not people like Alexander.
Yes, ma'am.
Because
Yes,
Alexander came, looted, went. And those barbaric people who came and looted Somnath and Taimur.
Mahmud of Ghazni, Timur, yes.
Mahmud Ghazni, they only came to loot and run away with the goods. But there were those people, Mughals, who came and settled down here and became the rulers of our country.
Yes,
so for them, this country was their country. And so they did all this. Similarly, the British, they were ruling over us for centuries. So they had to have a railway so that they could transport all our spices, our cotton, and take it to a port from where they could transport it to England. They needed the railway for their purpose. They needed these buildings, the parliament building, etc. for themselves. Because they had to run the country. They were
they thought that they would run India as their reign forever. That's why they made everything here.
If there was unity in the past times, then the India would not be so ruled for so many years.
Yes, all these invasions, all the invasions would have been thrown away. It would have been they would not have been successful if we had unity.
Yes, ma'am.
We all have read that when Alexander came, he saw that the interstates were fighting in between each other.
Yes.
To conquer themselves.
Yes. This was the sad part.
He took the advantage of that.
Ma'am, I want to speak some few
Yes,
lines
Shlok.
on our freedom fighters.
Yes, Shlok, please.
Our freedom fighters did not deter to lose their life. Such are great people who desired a free India with independent thinking for well-being of every citizen. They just lost their bodies, but their souls are still alive in our hearts and love.
Beautiful. Very beautiful. Have you written this?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, very beautiful, Shlok. Very well written.
Ma'am,
Yes,
Shashi
Aditya?
Tharoor Shashi Tharoor has said, no wonder that the sun never set on the British Empire, because even God couldn't trust the English in the dark.
Well, everything takes a full circle and comes back. So now, my dear children, we are going to look at more speeches, great people, independent fighter, Independence Day, and even further ahead. Okay? And the senior students can help the junior students. Parth, or
Yes,
make a committee of a few students, Archana ma'am,
Yes, ma'am.
who would like to take this forward with you.
Yes,
It should be run by students with the help of mentor teachers.
and this is what we have decided yesterday. So this
I would surely want to be a part of this.
Yes,
Yes,
very good.
this resolution has been passed yesterday by them only.
Very good. Yes.
Ma'am, by the children, of the children, for the children.
Fantastic. Because this is the motto of Jaipuria School, that we are running.
Constitution of Jaipuria.
The constitution of Jaipuria School is that it is being run not by the children completely, but for the
Yes,
children.
ma'am.
And as much as possible by the children, yeah? Because you are the future. Yes. Okay. Thank you so much. It was
Thank you, ma'am.
beautiful. Very
Thank you,
beautiful
ma'am.
conversing with you all. Pramini ma'am, would you like to say something?
Same here.
Yes, Shlok is also one such child who has participated in a lot of competitions, and I see him on the screen, the one who just spoke. So can we
Yes.
all clap for him as well, children?
Yes, yes.
He's taken a lot of initiatives.
Do you remember, Shlok, what all competitions and what all interactive journey that you've gone through? Please tell us about it. What all have you participated in?
Ma'am, mask making, IT fest, art quiz, creative writing, English, Hindi, then ma'am, Paryavaran.
And music? Music?
And, ma'am,
Music,
yes,
dance?
ma'am, ma'am,
Music.
dance, music.
Very
And,
good.
Okay.
Very
So-
good. So,
Very
so-
nice.
So
Excellent.
children, you all must be getting, I hope you all are getting encouraged to take part in more and more activities and widen your scope.
ma'am.
Yeah?
yes,
Ma'am, the most that we can make out in these times is the better.
Yes.
yes.
This is an opportunity. How much we have learned. This kind of education, this IT education that we've got, online learning, we would not have been able to achieve this in 2 years. What we've been able to do in 2 or 3 months. So we should thank COVID also.
All right. So, children, you've learned these speeches, and when I was listening to you people, I could feel that some of you had really understood them, and that is why your style of presenting them had also changed. So, you tell me what, one by one, right? Each one of you tell me one thing that you picked up from the speech that you've learned. How has that speech influenced you, and you're going to make it a part of your life? Anyone who would like to start?
Sarthak.
Ma'am, can I start? One thing that I learned from the Sri Aurobindo's Uttar Para excerpt was that divinity and patriotism go hand in hand.
Yes. Very true.
So, Ruhul ma'am, if you are there, if you could write, what these children have learnt, then maybe we could look at it later.
That divinity and patriotism go hand in hand. Sarthak Mishra, 7D. Very beautiful, Sarthak. Very beautifully.
Yes.
Captured
Anyone
in
else?
one small, short, precise sentence. Very nice.
Exactly. So much.
So, Ekansh, what have you learnt, 8D?
Ma'am, I learned that literacy only does not tell about one's self-image or one's intelligence. The illiterate people are also intelligent, and they also have a self-image of themselves.
Very, very good.
Very
Ma'am,
Ma'am, now can I speak? My internet
I
was
want
very
to.
distorted.
Yes, go ahead.
Ma'am, one thing that I learned from Sri Aurobindo's Uttarpara speech excerpt was that divinity and patriotism go hand in hand. Like, if we are thorough towards our patriotism, then God will also support us. Like when Sri Aurobindo was there for the freedom struggle, then God also told him, he talked to him literally, what he tells in his excerpt. So he tells that God is also wanting and God is also with the country and its freedom.
Very, very true.
Anushka Singh, you can speak.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I learned from my speech that everyone has the right to home rule. Everyone has the right to home rule if he or she is eligible for that. And ma'am, illiteracy cannot be the parameter for intelligence that anybody who is illiterate can be as intelligent as an literate person.
Absolutely.
Very, very true.
Absolutely. So, so the maybe the house help. How many of you have house helps whose children are not studying anywhere? Do you have maids at home whose children are not studying anywhere? I'm glad if you don't have such. Okay, so if you have, so probably you have to start respecting them more. All right, they may be illiterate. They may not be going
one
to
thing.
school. Yes.
Ma'am, one thing that I learned was that there is no one so weak or so selfish that he or she does not think that the service of motherland is not as joyous as anything in this world. Serving the motherland and patriotism is the most important characteristic and most important trait one should have in himself or herself to be what he or she wants to be.
Very nice.
Very, very nice. Very well.
Very good.
Ma'am.
Yes. Who's raising the hand? There are 3 people who've raised the hand.
Ma'am, I just want to say something.
Yes, beta.
Yes, please.
Ma'am, like you said that we should respect the homemates whose children are not studying anywhere. So, ma'am, there is a maid in my neighbor. Ma'am, her students are studying. Her child are studying, but ma'am, they don't have a proper bag, proper copies. So when the session of the year ends, I just give them my bags and boxes, so that they can go and study.
Yes, but with a lot of respect, you have to do that. Okay, with a lot of respect.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? And never you've done a great job by doing that.
Can I also say? You can even introduce her to Navsrijan, her children.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, that is what I did with a maid at my house. She worked earlier, and my mother told her that you can join Navsrijan for your children, and now she is happy there, and her children are in Navsrijan and learning.
So you can help her at home. So you can help her children.
Yes, ma'am, I do.
So they can make up whatever they've lost in the last few years without education. Very nice.
Can I also say?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Now I've learned from Subhash Chandra Bose speech that we should not take things too hard because once in a while it's okay if you ease up and rest.
Very nice.
Can you repeat? I couldn't listen to you, beta. Can you be a little louder?
Ma'am, we should not take things too hard all the time because once in a while it's okay if you ease up and rest.
Okay, right, all right. Parth, would you like
Prakriti Singh would like to say something.
Yes, Prakriti.
I learned from APJ Abdul Kalam's speech, I learned the value of humility. He respected all people equally. Even when he was the president of India, he used to listen people's problems as a routine and have a regular interaction with students who he considered as the valuable assets of our nation.
Very good.
Very, very good.
Ma'am, one thing I would like to say. Ma'am, last year when I participated in the Bhavani Bharati competition, so I did not really understand that why Sri Aurobindo established it or why Sri Aurobindo wrote the book of Bhavani Bharati. But once I read this Uttarpara excerpt and I researched on the net about it, then I found that once he was just, the Lord told him that India is your country, India is your God, then he wrote the Bhavani Bharati, which means the Mother India. And he wrote all the shlokas and sutras in praise of Mother India. So we can say that our country is our God.
Okay, Aditya Mishra has been raising his hand. Aditya, you can unmute yourself and speak.
Ma'am, basically what I learned from this speech by Ma'am Sarojini Naidu can be perfectly summed up in 3 lines of a poem I had read before. तन समर्पित, मन समर्पित और यह जीवन समर्पित, चाहता हूँ देश की धरती तुझे कुछ और भी।
वाह, ब्यूटीफुल। तन समर्पित, मन समर्पित और
यह जीवन समर्पित, चाहता हूँ देश की धरती तुझे कुछ और भी दूं।
Beautiful, very nice.
It has a great meaning.
ये बने इतने दिन से मेरा सपना था कि मैं अपने स्कूल के बच्चों से देश के प्रेम के में कुछ सुनूं, कैसे उनको इग्नाइट करूं, कैसे करूं। मैंने फ्रॉम इयर्स आई बीन टॉकिंग टू द आर्मी पीपल, द नेवी पीपल कि आप भेजिए और असेंबली में उनसे कुछ बुलवाइए, कुछ बोलिए।
I have written a whole poem on देश प्रेम.
Yes.
Ma'am, can I just read it?
Okay, go ahead. It will ignite us.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I have written a poem on मेरा देश. Yes, ma'am. यह देश हमारा है, प्राणों से प्यारा है, इस पर तो वीरों ने निज तन को वारा है। देश हमारा वस्त्र आभूषण, जिसमें हमको रहना, देश की सेवा में है जीना, सेवा में है मरना। गंगा यमुना और सरस्वती मिलकर संगम कहलाती, प्रेम सत्य और त्याग का पावन पाठ है सिखलाती। धर्म है, भिन्न जाति है, भिन्न इसके भेष हैं, मानवता ही एक धर्म है जिसका मकसद नेक है। अनेकता में एकता इस राष्ट्र की विशेषता, संविधान है देश का जो समग्र भाव से देखता। सरहद चाक चौबंद है इसकी, कोई ना भेद पाएगा, देखेगा जो आंख उठाकर मिट्टी में मिल जाएगा, देखेगा जो आंख उठाकर मिट्टी में मिल जाएगा। धन्यवाद।
Beautiful.
It's so good.
Very beautiful.
Very nice.
Very beautiful.
Parth, would you like to say something? Parth, would you like to say something? I really want to. It's commendable. From your class, you're the only one who has participated. Really commendable.
Thank you, ma'am.
Really commendable. Big hand for Parth, children.
Big hand for Parth. Yes.
Big hand for Parth. You know, as you grow, there are a lot of peers, and you have to face them also. So many times you withdraw from certain things because your peers are not doing, so you also don't want to do that. But children, all the change makers that have been, all the heroes, all the leaders that you've just heard, their speeches you've learned, they took it all by themselves. They did not think about others, and that is how people joined with them. Hats off to you, Parth. Very well done, and I really admire your confidence. So, would you like to say something, beta? Yes.
Ma'am, particularly from Dr. Kalam's speech, ma'am, I realized the value of self-confidence that one must have within himself or herself. Ma'am, like if you aim big and you don't have confidence to achieve your goals, ma'am, it is worthless. You cannot just like dream of a goal and achieve it overnight. You have to work for it. You must have the self-confidence. Ma'am, it is just indispensable for success. And ma'am, Dr. Kalam has wonderfully explained it in his speech. Ma'am, I wanted to address more about it while I was speaking, but keeping the time limit in mind, ma'am, I had to stick to the necessary contents.
Do you want to add something to it? If you want to add something to it, please go ahead. It will be a learning for all of us. My personal learning. Children, how many of you heard Dr. Abdul Kalam when he addressed people? Did you ever feel he had everything planned very beautifully?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, if you have a thought, then
yes,
a plan should follow the thought. If you really want your dream to be realized, then the plan has to be there. And whenever you listen to his speeches, you will find the progression. At the end, he sums it up and he will tell you what his plan is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 point wise. So that's how, he always did it. So this is what impressed me about him. And I really feel, yes, I feel you must order. I feel you must have a plan. Thoughts should be aligned with a plan.
And he makes the audience repeat what he has said.
Yes, ma'am.
Exactly.
does any student remember when Abdul Kalam ji had come to our school? Any one of you were there? कितने साल हो गए मैम?
Yes, ma'am.
कितने साल हो गए?
Ma'am, I think he came in 2008 or something.
2008 must be 12 years. Yeah, so they won't be there.
You were not there. But children, I must tell you, I had one teacher in my college, and she would, it's very strange in colleges, people don't do that, but she would say, anger is a form of, and she would make us repeat, temporary madness. So she would say, whenever she would come to the class for 1 or 2 minutes, she would tell all of us, anger is a form of, and everybody would repeat temporary madness. So, each time I get angry, I remember my teacher. And I really feel it is temporary madness. So, this is something now today you've listened to all these speeches from each one of you. Trust me, they will ring in your mind. And whenever there is a moment where you are in doubt, where you have to think about something, the speech will help you. It will help you. You will not realize how it has helped you. So listen to them.
Yes, Mr. Kalam motivates us and inspired us nicely, and we could understand properly that what he was trying to say.
Right.
Yeah, raising the consciousness.
I would like to share a picture in which Dr. Kalam has been offering a prize to my brother, because at a very low age, he was of maybe 4 years, and he answered a very specific question of his. This one.
Okay.
Mom, I written a poem during these days, ma'am, about the incident which happened in the Galwan Valley. Ma'am, I had submitted it to my respective Hindi teachers and want to take part in the Kargil Vijay Divas competition. I would just like to recite it before all of you. Ma'am, I would just take 2 minutes to just download it. Ma'am, I have it on my laptop, and just 2 minutes.
Meanwhile, Shlok can say. Yeah, Shlok.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I was thinking while I spoke the speech. Ma'am, it's not a thinking of a right, ma'am. Freedom, it should be as a whole. Better is our environment, happy, and wider is our perspective. We should be not I.
Ma'am, I think this group name is taken from APJ Abdul Kalam Ignited Minds book. Ma'am, ignited young souls.
Our inspiration, beta.
Ma'am.
Our souls will be excited.
Ma'am, can I say something?
Yes, Anushka. Yes.
Ma'am, I have heard a quote on APJ Abdul Kalam. He said that don't read success stories, you will only get a message. Read failure stories, you will get some ideas to get success. Ma'am, please tell what is the meaning of this.
First, you tell me, do you ever feel you failed in something?
No, ma'am.
No, you've never failed. Okay, fine. So whatever you planned, you did like that, and you achieved what you wanted to achieve, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? Okay. So, but what happens is that when people fall down and then they get up, all right? And again, if they fall down and then again they get up, what do you learn from that?
Like that, we should never give up.
Yeah, you should never give up. And if you don't give up, then can you move up or not?
Yes, ma'am.
If you don't give up, will you become better than what you are?
No, ma'am.
If you don't give up, if you never give up, and if you keep trying, will you become better than what you are?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what is your aim? Your aim is to become the best version of yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? You want to appreciate yourself becoming better and better and better. So then from where are you going to learn?
Yes, ma'am.
That you should never give up. So
Yes.
just one learning you get from there, that you should never give up. So you've told me your answer. Your answer is absolutely
okay, ma'am.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Ma'am, like it is said that if you read failure stories, you will get ideas to win success. Which means if we fall one time and we get up, and then we again fall, then we know how to get up because we had already fallen down.
Absolutely.
So that is how we get the ideas to win success.
Absolutely.
Failure teaches us a lot.
Ma'am, we get an experience.
First part, Bina's poem, and then yours. Okay?
Ma'am, it is titled Amod Siddhi Buddh or the Destroyer of Poison. आमने सामने दोनों सेनाएं थी खड़ी, एक कदम भी पीछे नहीं हटने पर थी अड़ी। घायल हुआ हिमालय फिर से उठ चुका था, घात के पुराने जख्मों में बारूद भर चुका था। बढ़ते बाहुबल पर ड्रैगन अहंकारी हो उठा था, भारत भूमि हड़पने का निश्चय कर चुका था। दो सविताएं भी बर्फीली चोटियों पर युद्ध को तत्पर, दोनों ही अत्यंत प्रचंड, तीव्र, घातक और सत्वर। एक था विनाशकारी, विध्वंसकारी, विस्तारवादी, एक था वसुधैव कुटुंबकम गायक विकासवादी। एक था प्रचंड और अग्नि समान प्रलयंकर, एक था बुद्ध समान अभयंकर। थी बहुतेरी दर्प और दम की सेनाएं ओसोर, तो थी स्वाभिमान की अमिट रेखाएं इस ओर। गलवान की घाटी में इतिहास फिर दोहराया गया, निहत्ते 20 सैनिकों को अनीति से मारा गया। बुद्ध ने फिर नेत्र खोले अपने अंतिम ज्ञान के, करो समर्पित स्वयं को मां भारती के नाम पे। शिला शिला चीख उठी, दहल गए वहरी पहाड़ भी, बूंद बूंद सम उठी, मूर्छित हुई गर्जना धाड़ की। संग्राम की प्रबल आग से शिखर दमदमा उठा, भारतीय शूरों के शौर्य से गलवान जगमगा उठा। धर्म, दया, प्रेम, अहिंसा के पथ पर विश्व चलेगा, किसी के अतिशय लालच का नहीं ग्रास बनेगा। क्रोधित महाकाल बुद्ध ने यह धम्मघोष किया, अधर्म, दमन, घृणा, हिंसा का समूल उच्छेद किया। संपूर्ण जगत आज पुकारता है जय जय, गलवान की परम वीर कथा की जय जय, अमोद सिद्धि बुद्ध की नए प्रण की जय जय, धर्म, शांति, प्रेम, करुणा की जय जय। धन्यवाद।
माय गॉड, क्या पोयम लिखी है, क्या क्या विचार हैं आपके, और उनके लिए द परफेक्ट माध्यम, द परफेक्ट वर्ड्स। आपकी जय जय। ब्यूटीफुल पार्थ। पार्थ, इसको ना बहुत सुंदर से रिसाइट करिए, कैमरे में देख करके, विद द पेपर मे बी अ लिटिल फार अवे।
Yes, ma'am. The Dainik Jagran newspaper, ma'am, there was a competition, ma'am. So I submitted a video of mine, ma'am, like reciting this poem, and ma'am, the results haven't come out yet, ma'am. There was some problem.
Mane, I don't care whether you get the prize or not, because the prize Ma Bharti has already given to you. I would like the video, Archana ma'am.
Sure, ma'am. Sure.
And if you allow me, can I share it with my Gita group and a few groups of mine, if you allow?
Yes, ma'am. I'm sure.
If it's allowed to send your video.
Ma'am, I've written one poem for Kargil Divas.
Okay, then after that, ma'am, I'll have to take your leave because I have a duty, grandmom duty.
So even I also have a meeting. All right, children, it is fun talking to you. I've thought of a project for class 7. And I'll discuss that with Deepa ma'am and Anjali ma'am, and then come back to you on this.
Ma'am, I've written one poem.
Ma'am, one child is wanting.
Excuse me, ma'am. Ma'am, I have written for Kargil Divas.
Okay, yeah.
लहू वतन के शहीदों का रंग लाया है उगल रहा है जमानी में नाम है आजादी शहीदों की को नमन।
Wow, very nice. Beautiful.
Ma'am, actually, I had also written that poem for Kargil Divas and made a video. Ma'am, it was not actually ma'am, Sarthak Mishra.
Okay, Sarthak.
Ma'am, it was not actually a competition. It was a way of expressing our gratitude to the army men at the border of LAC.
Okay.
That Dainik Jagran just organized. So the poem that I recited, I had written for Kargil Divas and made a video of that.
Okay, so guys, I have to go now. There's no way I can stay back. So
we would like to sum up now.
It's my privilege to be here to conclude this edifying session. Douglas MacArthur rightly said, and I quote, "A true leader has the confidence to stand alone, the courage to make tough decisions, and the compassion to listen to the need of others. He does not set out to be a leader, but becomes one by the equality of his actions and the integrity of his intent." Unquote. I would like to extend my immense gratitude to our dear Ma'am Anjali Jaipuria, Ma'am Promni Chopra, Ma'am Asha Chadha, and Ma'am Archana Mishra for igniting and enlightening us with the great thoughts of our leaders of the past, who not only sacrificed to acquire freedom for our nation, but also the self-esteem it deserves. These distinguished leaders are true examples of integrity, accountability, empathy, and vision. I take this opportunity to express my thankfulness to all the teachers who have been a part of this wonderful and thought-provoking session. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, teachers. Thank you, students. Thank you, Pramini ma'am,
Thank you,
Archana
ma'am.
ma'am.